Alright, now that I've done a video on the twin flame, the karmic soulmates, now let's talk about your false twin flame, right? The moment you've all been waiting for. Yeah, because I was like, I have to bring in all perspectives here. I have to bring in the full fucking dynamic for you so you understand. And when I do my tarot readings, if you've seen this, you'll kind of get it, right? A false twin flame, they're very receptive. It's like the connection goes a little too smooth. Like it just kind of fucking, it's so good it can't be true, you know. And I know that sounds crazy. You're like, what? How is it too good to be true? Well, here's the thing. As soon as you sever ties with your false twin flame, it literally like dissipates. Like you just there's not like any feelings of sadness or anger or whatever. You just kind of like move forward. You know, there's no back and forth like you do with your karmic partner. There's no runner chaser shit like you do with your twin flame. It's different. It's like as soon as they're gone, you know, out of sight, out of mind almost. And it's kind of fucked up if you think about it, but because you know, you want to like commemorate the time you had with them. It's not like they did anything wrong or you did anything wrong. It's actually so good that like you guys kind of like just couldn't make it, like, I don't know, you couldn't make it a thing, you know? And because you need some sort of level of growth or expansion, and you guys kind of get stagnant in the happiness a little bit. It's so stagnant that the happiness gets draining. And it's like, you know, it is what it is. When you cut off a twin flame, though, and you say you block them on all the shit, and you're like, fine, bye. You know, especially if you're the chaser, if you're the divine feminine, because that's the perspective I'm really coming from, is from the divine feminine's point of view. And so it's like when you cut off the twin flame, they get louder. They call way deeper into you, right? And here's the fucked up part of the dynamic of the twin flame is like your runner is like trying to outrun the connection the whole fucking time, right? Your divine masculine, whatever. They're like running away the whole time and they seem to be fine with this. Like it's like, okay, whatever. They're not. Like internally you feel everything that they're feeling. So you know they're not, but like they're scared of the connection because it's like intense. It's like and it's one of those things too where it's like even as a divine feminine you reach a point where you're like, fuck, like what if they really break my heart? What if they, you know, I mean, but they do. They really break your heart the whole like chasing time. And that's why you gotta stop chasing. That's why you gotta let it go. That's why you have to remove your energy, because you have to set a boundary there where they can't continue breaking your boundary. You know, they have to learn. You know, and it feels like the hardest thing. You know, because your twin flame, it's like they always call you back to home. It's like you're a little kid and you're trying to run away. You're like, fine, I'm just gonna pack my shit and I'm gonna go. And you get like down the block and you're like, where am I gonna go? What am I gonna eat? What's gonna happen? You know, and then you go back and it's like, fuck. It's kind of similar because it's like you're like, fine, I'm gonna just run away from this. I'm gonna block it out, and and it gets louder, and it gets louder, and it gets louder, and then you fucking have to go through all the shit, and you're just like, oh my god. And until you realize, till you get to that sense of understanding, you don't ever run away from them. They don't ever run away from you. The runner chaser thing is part of the illusion of the connection, right? It's that 3D reality, right? And if you're stuck in the 3D, you're upset about this. Whereas if you connect with them on the 5D, I'm just gonna take this off. Deal with my crazy hair, okay? Yeah, so if you connect with them on the 5D, then it's like, this whole fucking other thing, you know? It's like, you just reach this kind of sense of like, okay, So the there's just no running. You realize they are your home, they are yourself. They are another incarnation of you, and you can't escape yourself. Even you can escape the body, right? You can escape your human body, but you cannot escape your soul. You can't escape what is you. So that's the conundrum of the twin flame journey, is you don't actually ever run away. You don't ever actually sever any cord with your twin flame. And that's kind of the best way to know where you are in your journey, if you're with a false or if you're with a real one. I was kind of like trying to be like, oh, my real twin flame isn't my false. It's gotta be, because, like, whatever. And as soon as I tried to shut down that connection like I had with my false twin flame, I was like, alright, it's gonna be the same, just like out of sight, out of mind, It gets louder, it gets harder. It's like, you feel them every fucking second of every day, and everything has their name in it. Every number reminds you of them, and it's like, until you get to this level of acceptance and understanding that this is you. You're not escaping you. And this is also part of the self-love journey, is where you have to learn to love it, even if it's not in the way that you first envisioned it or whatever, especially if it's not, because you have to learn to love this connection in a non-detached way, right? The connection is not about attachment, it's not about possession, it's not about ownership, it's not any of those things that you have probably experienced with like a karmic or whatever, and similarly, like, you love without attachment with your false twin flame, because you get to a point where you're like, oh, like, I trust them more than anything. They're, vibing so high with me that, like, and they're your angelic partner, right? Your karmic partner is like your demonic, lower vibration partner. Your false twin flame is like an angelic karmic partner, kind of, it's like somebody you've also had past life experience with, but you guys met on a high vibration and you were able to expand together, right, and grow in that aspect. But it's like you can let go of that eventually, like you can heal from that, you can, it doesn't feel as doesn't feel like gravity in the same way. A twin flame is like gravity. It's like you're in an airplane over the Bermuda Triangle. That's what it feels like. Like you're just being pulled into it. Like you don't. It's like the idea of choice here is really illusion. The idea of free will in this is kind of an illusion, because like your will can be like, fine, bye. And then like the reality is like, how do you separate from yourself? And it's like you have to kind of get to a point where like you decide to be so mentally strong, so emotionally mature, that you start seeing it for what it really is and what that connection is really meant for. And you start seeing that you guys are just playing cosplay in these human bodies, and you guys are, it's like, maybe it's how the spirit keeps things alive, keeps things fresh, it's like the first they have to like introduce all the things that aren't you, so that you can identify what is, and when you do, it's like there's just nothing else, right? There's just nothing else. You can't settle on it, you don't want to, you just fucking, that's it. That's where it all begins, ends. It's never began and ended. That's another thing. It's like, this is eternal. This is a connection that you go all the way up the spirals of reality with, every dimensional ascension, everything, like you connect with it. And this is like the ascension process. It's understanding that, like, this, you know, and honestly, like, you get to a point too in the connection because it's so intense, you know? It's like, um, there's a lot of, what is the word? It's almost like fear, but it's not like bad fear. It's like an excited anxiousness that happens on the inside where you're just kind of like, just in this state of knowing, right? And understanding. And you take the journey for what it is. You know, you take the experience for what it is, and you're just like, here we go. You know, this is the ride. This is what it's about. It's, you know, we can sit here and play all these games in this third dimensional body all we fucking want. And the second you decide, like, hey, I'm done playing games. I'm done. I'm done pretending, you know, that this isn't what it is, you know, or I'm done running from a connection that I already know what it is, you know. And you just kind of stay still. You just be, right? Like the Taoist way or the Buddhist way. You just learn a state of, instead of needing to take action and do and have and all these things, you get into a state of being, a state of oneness where you're in union with your destiny, with your purpose, and you flow. You know, you flow like a river. You're not trying to swim upstream anymore, and you're not like swimming until you beat your body bloody through these rapids. You know, it's like eventually you relax. You get in a floating position. You put your face up to the sky. You know, you look up and you just float, right? You just float. And where you float through your destiny, through your life, it's like that's the way it's meant to be, is just in this perfect state of this flow state, right? Where it's no longer about outcomes, it's no longer about taking or getting or wanting or needing. It's no longer about all that stuff. Like, there's no sense of urgency here. It's like, I mean, there's a sense of longing, I guess, because your soul will literally try to jump out of your body when you're near your twin flame. It's like that movie Venom, or the comic book Venom, or whatever, you know, when the symbiotes are in there, and it's like just fathom, like, kind of like how Carnage, let there be carnage. I'm gonna give away some oh, sorry, some aspects of that movie, so sorry if you haven't seen it, you better go see it. But you know, it's like Venom created his son, or his other part, you know, and it's like when Venom saw Carnage for the first time, he's like, ah, you know, he was like, I'm going inside. No, I don't want to do this, you know. And it's kind of similar. It's like the sense of like of this realization of like, oh fuck, like that's the same as me. That's the, like, we have that energetic bridge in your soul. Like, you feel like you've got a symbiote inside of you trying to like wiggle its way out, like it's like, ah, and you just feel pulled, you know, in that direction. And it's like, it's a lot. You know, like a fucking magnet, you know. It's like and it's, even, you can try to outrun it, you can try to do all kinds of shit, and guess what, chicken butt? It's there, and it's real, and you can't just experience it and walk away. It's like a gang. You know, once you're in for life, you know. And it's like, but you've always been in it. You've always been in it, and you know that you have that sense of understanding that, like, you know, for me, I remember I was a weird fucking kid, you know. I'd always be out, like, picking up sticks and, like, da-da-da, you know, and I always just had this sense of, like, there was another aspect of me, another part to me, a counterpart to me, I guess, and it's like when you meet it, like, your soul's like, and you don't get that same kind of energy with, the false twin flame. With the false twin flame, like, yeah, it's very magnetic, yeah, there's a lot of attraction, and I mean, you guys connect on this level of expansion and growth, right? So it's like, it's healing. It helps you heal from the past trauma of like the karmic, right? And it's, it also helps you to understand that like there are, relationships can be better, I guess. That like you could have a relationship based on, love and respect and just like mutual understanding, this coexistence, it's like it shows you that. So the false twin flame is also really important to your journey. It's like a holy trinity kind of, you gotta first like deal with the body, then you deal with the mind, and then you deal with the soul. um and it's like the karmic is all like, and then you'll get to this point too with the false twin flame where you're like, damn, like it was so turbulent with my karmic that they had to bring out the worst aspects of me, right? I had to do that shadow work aspect, the ego death constantly, and then you get into it with your false twin flame, and then you just have this sense of like, damn, things can be really good. Like somebody can treat you really well. Somebody is like, like having somebody who like fucking bought me flowers, and like not just because like they felt sorry about something, but like actually they were like, you know what, you look like you need flowers today, so here you go, or they're like, they just do nice things for you all the time. They show you what it's like to be in a mutual and loving relationship. They show you what it's like to kind of have like this balance, right? This like sense of like, knowing how you want to be treated, right? They're the ones that give you this guideline, like, hey, it's not all garbage. It's not all war. Love isn't always a battlefield. Sometimes love is laying in a bed of clovers, and it's like, sometimes it's more than that, and it kind of, this is how you get prepped for like that twin flame union. Should it come, in the third dimension, should it come, because at some point you're just kind of like, well, if it never comes, I'm still in union, but it helps you on that level too, on that energetic level where yes, you have to set boundaries with your twin flame. And yes, you have to show them like mutual love and respect and trust, and it's a whole thing, but you have to show them that energetically by giving all that to yourself, right? And the false twin flame teaches you how to do that, right? They teach you how to love yourself by showing you, giving you an example of what love feels like, what love should act like, what love should be like. They don't put you down, they don't. I remember feeling like, damn, we just don't fight. we just vibe so high that like, there's never a feeling of like misunderstanding each other, because we just got it. It was like, if there ever was like a tense moment where we're like, it was like, we'd feel it, we'd talk it out, we'd go have an adventure, we'd go do something, and it taught you, or taught me how to like, how to put in the work for love, on a whole other scale, where you don't just, like throw in the towel, I guess. Not that you would. I feel like in all these connections, it ends when it needs to end. And if you have to throw in the towel with somebody, it doesn't mean that they're bad or you're bad or there's a bad situation. It sometimes just means that it had to happen. This was part of the journey. It's all part of the learning experience, Yeah, they are so important because they show you that you deserve that. They show you that you are worth that you should be honored, that you should be somebody that your partner should be proud of you. Your partner should want to bring you around their family, their friends. They should want, instead of pitting you against their family and friends, because that's a lot of what you deal with the karmic is the smear campaigns, where they're like, they're the only bad guy, not me, and then, and it's bullshit, and you're like, does anybody else see this? Like, but, whatever. Let them believe, see whatever they want. Because at the end of the day, like, when you level up from like the karmics to the false twin flame, I almost hate calling them a false twin flame. I wish that we had another word for them. I like to call them the soulmates. Like there's your karmic partner, and then your soulmate, and then your twin flame. It's like a level. Because these are people who you do resonate with. You have spent past lives with them. They taught you how to love yourself in those past lives. They showed you what that looks like, because then you go into power couple mode where you're both like really strong hustlers, and you both have so much mutual love and respect and honor for each other that it's like you guys go into like feeling like, I'm a goddamn empress, and this is my goddamn emperor, and it's like you feel that. But I mean, and the reality is you guys are just, you're not quite that like divine union emperor empress, but you understand what that looks like, what that feels like to be in a power couple, to understand what it is like. And that's the ultimate, like, before your twin flame, I think you guys should honestly experience that, and don't like don't shrug it off like it was nothing, don't be like, oh, waste of time, blah 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 blah, like, don't shrug it off like it was nothing, because it was something. It was something that taught you. It was something that helped you grow. So many lessons came out of it, and good memories, just, the memory of having somebody take care of you the right way and honor you the right way. It really helps you to set boundaries for yourself. That's the healing, the the healing from all the trauma, the cauterizing all the wounds, bringing yourself back together. This is your soul doctor nurse, like this is the person who's like, oh man, you got fucked up in your battle. Let me just patch you up real good. You're gonna be taken care of. Let me kiss your owies, and then and it's beautiful. It's like this. It's great, you have somebody who really gives you an example to live by, to respect, and it's like you can no longer accept less. That's the best thing that they give for you, is they set such a high standard of love for you. They set such a high high standard that like you literally cannot accept less than that. You get to a point where you're like, if anyone comes at you with some fake ass bullshit and they start sounding douchey or something, the second you hear that, you're just like, ugh, go away, and and it's like, because what it's like to be with somebody who's authentic with you, and with somebody who's authentic with you, they put you in a whole other level of conscious awareness, because it really pulls out your authentic self, your inner warrior, it's all part of it. And a lot, like, I honestly have so much respect and love for everyone who's helped me out on my journey thus far, That goes to karmic partners, that goes to soulmates, and even the twin flame, that fucking guy, but, it's like, there's not really, you don't get to this point where anybody's better than anybody else. It's just, you understand that a lot of people are very good energetic matches for you, but your twin flame is all the way you. You guys will always vibrate on the same station. You guys are always on the same radio station, okay? People can get close, but it's still fuzzy. You know, it's like when you're going through your radio and like say you're just like you're like 0.1 of a digit off of like an actual station, and then it gets all fuzzy. You can still hear the music, you can still like hear what's going on, but it's just fuzzy. That's what the false twin flame is like. It's like you're so close, but it's fuzzy. You know, you just need to go just like 0.1 of a digit over and then get to that station, right? And they're always on the same station as you, your twin flame. Your false twin flame is always 0.1% or 0.1 digits away from being that, you know. And your karmic, well, it's like a whole other radio station, but they play similar music. Okay, they play similar music. That's the best way I can really kind of like put it in the perspective of like channels, you know, because that's really what it is different channels. And it's like, yeah, they might play the same song sometimes, they might, you know, whatever, but your channel is not the same as their channel. It's similar. You know, it's very similar. So yeah, that's but that's pretty much what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. And I'm gonna let you go because I'm running out of time again. I do this. I rant until I run out of time. But yes, thank you for your time, your energy, and for hearing me out. Namaste, and I love you all. Bye.